Testing. Hello? Oh my god. Man, I tell you, funniest part of being a person who does stuff on the internet is that you just don't know when OBS is gonna give you. It's gonna try and be funny that day. I maintain that OBS is a comedy program. It's an entertainment software. So sometimes, for some reason, for whatever reason, when I try to open up OBS, it does not register my microphone. It just decides that I'm not feeling it today, boss. Sorry. I wonder if there's any correlation with anything else. I had to update VLC earlier today, but besides that, I don't really remember anything that would cause it to do that. But yes, this is the comic that we'll be working on for today. I haven't actually finished page 3. There were a couple of complications that I'll talk about probably during stream today. But we're going to go ahead and jump on Lineart for this page here. This will be interesting because the first 2 panels aren't going to need me to do any background line art, but these... I don't know about these ones. I don't know about what the line art game will look like for these ones. The crate will probably be easy enough because I have a primitive that I can use, but I don't know what I'll do for the walls back here. For the time being, let's just slice up the panels and hope and pray for the best. Okay. I found that it's actually better to cut up the panels in almost a reverse order. Like, if you're doing it left to right, you actually need to do it right to left. That sort of thing. It's interesting. I wonder if that's because Clip Studio Paint is originally a Japanese program or something. Could just be a massive coincidence, though. Hard to say. There we go. Let's see. Tuck these bad boys in here. Very good. Okay. Yeah, earlier today I was reading about creator camps, right? I was talking earlier how OBS seemingly manages to somehow single-handedly kick my ass almost every opportunity. Oh, we are coming up in an ad break in about a minute, so we'll see how that plays out. Anyway, OBS manages to kick my ass on the regular. Apparently, I don't even know why it does it. I don't know what it is about technical programs that makes them so finicky. Maybe it's because they are technical programs. They run a lot of like different stuff that you can't really see. They're much less transparent than other ones. It does feel a little bit like I'm trying to appease the whims of some ancient volcanic deity. I don't know. Maybe I need to start sacrificing smaller, lesser VTubers to OBS to ensure a smooth run. Yeah, that's the one way. They don't want to tell you this, but that's the one way to defeat Scuff. You need to run a Golden Throne-esque operation. Oh goodness. Okay, we'll finish off the jetpack here. Should I have used a 3D model for this? It's hard to say. I think I can get away with just using freehand. Now let's bring in the model. I'll keep this one here because it actually turned out pretty good. Sometimes I do wonder if trying to have adapted a more painterly style would have been a good idea. Okay. Zoop. Let me adjust the lighting on this thing. kind of hilarious the amount of shadow that is on there. Let me widen this thing a little bit too. Why not? Okay, then we just turn it a little bit like this. Okay, then maybe just like this. There we go. Sometimes I do feel like whenever I play around with the width and harmony of my 3D models, it does feel a little bit like that one bit from the Dover Boys where it's like, an automatic, I'll steal it! That jetpack. Hey, Cypress. Yeah, it feels like that one bit where he's like, an automatic, I'll steal it! No one will ever know! In like the loudest voice possible, but like, it's just me hornswoggling the dimensions of whatever I'm making. And the they in question is the people who will read the comic in the future. Okay. Yeah, we can just make this a solid line. Whatever, who gave a shit? I was talking earlier about a camp that I read about. Alright, so remember when you were a kid? I remember being a child, right? I didn't grow up in a place that had these. So I remember seeing like these TV shows talk about stuff like space camp, science camp, marine biology camp, all these different camps they have in the United States. I didn't believe those were an actual real thing. I know that they had like summer camp that was an actual thing that where everybody turned into like a Boy Scout for 2 months or some shit, or 8 weeks. I don't know how long those were. Like I said, different cultures and everything. But apparently the space camp and marine biology camp were actually real things, because as it turns out, they have now launched content creator camps for children, which is hilarious in a way. Like, I'm imagining a tiny little sweatshop full of children learning to try to use fucking Vegas. It's such a funny mental image. It's like one of those like 1980 LAN parties, except that it's all children. They're all kind of crying, trying to figure out how like a keyframing works in Premiere Pro. Oh God bless God protect those children. For real. Still, I bet if those kids ever get into streaming, they won't ever get caught on the back foot with OBS like I did today. I think I've gotten better about noticing when I have scuff. I'm generally scuff free, right? I feel like I can take pride in knowing that generally I don't have to worry about like lag or anything. Thanks to my super beefy internet connection, which I definitely don't use to legally acquire different types of media. Anyway, I do feel like I've gotten better, especially like with audio stuff. That's something to be happy about. Still, summer camp is such a mystery to me. Like, I feel like it couldn't be more than a couple of weeks, right? Because of the fact that it's just, I feel like parents in the United States would be a little bit uneasy about leaving their kids well, not unsupervised, but at least kind of isolated for that long. Without them. I don't know. I was pretty dependent on my parents as a kid. It's hard for me to imagine that. But I guess some people would enjoy the freedom a little more. I know my brother was definitely way more of an independent soul than I was. He would have loved something like that. Let's see. Out of leg here with the knee pit around here. Man, there's probably a better name for the knee pit, but I don't know what it is. I know it's got like a very technical name, you know, kind of like how your butt can be called the gluteus maximus or something. It's probably got a very interesting name as a muscle. But if there is one, I don't know. Can we talk about how about the fact that like a lot of muscle groups don't actually sound at all about like what they're supposed to be? You know, you hear bicep and you look at a bicep and you're like, yeah, actually that kind of tracks. But you hear like scapula and you're like, what the fuck is a scapula? Right? Like I feel like some muscle groups are more aptly named than others. Man, I hope scapula actually. I'm pretty sure that scapula is the name of a muscle, but if it isn't, I'm gonna be very embarrassed. No, it's definitely the name of a muscle. I remember hearing about it a couple of times. Let me Google this real quick. Oh yeah, it's like that part. Okay, no, it's okay. So my bad. Scapula is a bone. So you know what? I am fair in my assessment that it doesn't sound like the name of a muscle in that case, because it isn't one. That's true. Everything is made up, so I shouldn't feel bad about forgetting the name of my scapula. God, I remember when I was a kid, there was this one other person in my like first grade class who was really good at like moving around their scapula. Like theirs were like really visible. So whenever they moved their like they would used to like wear tank tops and just show it off, and it would be so gross and cool. It's like when a kid in your class is double jointed, right? Like they gotta milk that a little bit. Oh man. Okay, hang on. I feel like I've beefed part of the shoe here. There we go. That looks a little better. Oh yeah. I've also started playing a little bit more Cure recently. I've started to kind of see it as my comfort game. It's just a nice game to lose track of time to. I've gotten good enough at it that I don't consistently wipe anymore. So that's been a nice bit of progression. Also, kind of insane that they were like the dev of that game was reached out to because apparently Hololive is like extending its licensing rights, intellectual property rights to fan games in a very interesting way. It's like making a new indie game department or something. And it's kind of insane that the Holocure dev was like the one who broke the news of this. I mean, I don't know. Maybe it was announced earlier and we just weren't looking. But it's kind of insane that that's how we learned about it. Is this the thigh with is this the leg with the thigh holster? No, it'd be this one. Okay, we're good. Okay, I'm gonna just copy paste this one. Actually, I'm just going to make a second line. And this one, I'll shrink. Okay, yeah, there we go. There we go. Something about that doesn't seem right still. I think it's the second line here. Let's simplify these guys. Okay, that didn't simplify very much at all. Oh, maybe just if we don't simplify the whole line, it should be a little bit easier to wrangle. Yeah, that's the stuff. Okay, we'll switch this thing to be the not a corner. It's kind of weird that they have names for the square pips, that is, their corners, but not for these round pips. I guess that they'd be curves, right, if they're not corners. That feels about right, actually, yeah. I wonder if Clip Studio Paint's vector features make actual vector artists who use like Adobe Illustrator or something mad. Like, do they hear me talk about like corners and simplifying lines and everything, and start just kind of foaming at the mouth a little bit with sheer rage? I hope so. Yeah, it's a little difficult. I don't think Clip Studio Paint can export in the vector art file type. I don't remember what the vector art file type is, but I remember it's something like they do have like a specific file type. It's, what is it? Vector file type. Okay, there's a .ai one, which is for Adobe Illustrator. It's not that one. .svg, that's the one. Can it save as a .svg? Hang on. File, export, single layer. Export vectors. Oh, it can actually export those. Well, hot shit. Never mind. Smack talk rescinded. Actually, no, never mind. Smack talk sustained. I was talking about how it would make a vector artist mad, so I guess this would make them even angrier if they are, assuming they're mad about it. Based on that assumption. I don't know. I feel like vector artists are too busy having actual jobs to be mad about shit on the internet. The thing about vector art is that it's extremely useful from what I understand for like actual graphic design work, because most websites use either a PNG or like an actual vector thing because of its scalability. So I feel like if you know about vector art and you're proficient at it, you probably have both enough money to a career that grants you the access to the Adobe suite, and also like not enough time to be hanging around some rice bag rando's stream who was talking about the different file types and their users. I'm not gonna lie, I kind of get intimidated by people who don't save stuff as PNGs. I feel like PNG is like a brother to me. The PNG is like a wild desert stallion that I've tamed, that we have grown together, in a kind of journey of self-discovery for the both of us. JPEG is like a rabid feral animal who lives in my walls, and also in Twitter's fucking program architecture. .tiff is a mystery to me. I don't know anybody who uses .tiff. I guess it's probably people who do a lot of printing stuff, because I remember when I was playing around with the first issue, I remember that .tiff was the actual format that could export to CMYK and everything. So I'm guessing those people are more familiar with, say, print work. This is a really nice graphic. I'm very proud of myself for making it. Okay, just get rid of these. That's odd. There we go. Okay. There we go. Oh, wait, have I... Okay, no, I need to change something very quickly about the panels here. I cannot let them be anti-aliased. That's the thing, right? When I was figuring out the tricks to printing stuff, I found out that apparently you're not supposed to use aliased lines. You're supposed to use anti-aliased lines, because apparently the little crumbs that are left behind on aliased lines show up a lot more easily in print. Like, they look kind of gritty and everything, which is bad if you're trying to go for a smooth art style like I am. I don't know, maybe listen, there's no such thing as like a complete negative, right? I feel like somebody could do something with those crumbs that show up, but or rather, maybe it's better if you're trying to like communicate a kind of jarred pixely effect. Maybe it's a good way to introduce like a subtle offness to something. But that's not what I'm going for, so it's a little bit less... It has less utility in that regard, right? Okay, there we go. I know for a fact that I use a helmet as a reference for this one. Let me just kind of reach over and this is a little bit too turned to the right is the problem. Hang on. Let's try this again. Starting from the chin. Right. Man, I wonder what the wackest file type is. I wonder if there's like there's one file type that is universally... No, it's WebP. Hang on, I just answered my own question. Nobody fucking likes WebP. I have not met a single person in my life who likes the .webp file format. It is insane how much how much hate that thing gets. And not undeservedly, too. Like, just to clarify, I'm not stepping up the bat for WebP here. Far from it. I'm just saying it's kind of funny how much hate it gets. And from a scientific standpoint. Hold on, let me turn off the reference real quick. Just here. Because I feel like there's something off about the helmet as it is. It's not wide enough, I think. Okay, grab these and move them a little bit to the right. Then grab these and move them a little bit more to the right. Yeah, and I think I'm going to make a new line right here for the helmet. Something about it still doesn't seem quite right. Maybe if I made the dip a little bit lower. Okay. I feel like the helmet flap should be a little bit bigger. It doesn't look attached enough as it is. There we go. That's a little better. And we can just adjust this a hair to the left. Build it up just a tad more. Give it a little bit of a graft there, you know how it is. That's a good way to describe it. Some of these lines need like graphs so that they look more even, so that they have more structural integrity. Not gonna lie, I'm a big fan when a word can be used both in the context of engineering and in the context of like a human body. So like a graft is something you can do with skin and or tissue, but it's also something that I think there is such a thing as like a graft in terms of like engineering. I know that it works also in botany. You know, you can graft a tree branch. House graft. Architecture graft. Is that a thing? No, okay, it's an architectural group. I wonder if it's construction graft. Grafting techniques for face construction. Okay, hot tip, don't look up construction graft and just immediately click into images, because they also show some very graphic stuff about like the tooth grafts. Ooh. That is hard to look at. It doesn't seem to be a term in architecture though, sadly. So, you know, maybe wrong example to use there. I'm getting mixed up with my words today. I'm a little out of practice. How strange. What is a word that I know about? I better come up with something quick, or else it'll seem like I actually don't know any words. Not that I didn't want to continue this bit. I don't know. Oh, I'm kind of on the spot here. Do I know any words? I don't think I do. Oh well. I don't know any words in English. That's fine. As far as I'm concerned, the worst thing I've done to myself, the worst injury I've ever sustained, the worst harm I've ever done to myself is forcing myself to learn English. Oh, that was a big mistake. Learning how to read English was the worst mistake of my life. Real fumble on my part on that one. Don't know what I was thinking, quite honestly. followed closely followed closely by my largest fumble to date, which is learning to read at all. I should have stayed illiterate and innocent, grinding out herbs and spices to make concoctions in the middle of the Amazon forest or some shit. I should have lived off of berries, not whatever the hell it is that I'm currently doing. I mean, I would have most certainly died, but like, at least there would have been some excitement to it. Who knows? I might even have gotten eaten by a jaguar. Okay, so maybe the jaw was the problem. The jaw of the helmet, so to speak. Hmm. Maybe I should have brought the helmet reference in here. Yeah, I think I'm still not pushing it far enough to the right. Hang on. There's no way I don't have the helmet reference in here. Get over here. I know you're in there somewhere. Oh no, wait. I think I might have scrambled it with that one person reference there. Yeah, no. All right, hang on. Yeah, we cannot be spending this much time on just the helmet. Okay, shrink that down. Put that over here. And a little bit tilted down. Maybe a little bit narrower. Then turn down the opacity. Yeah, let's just start this from scratch. Hang on. Although we should make the helmet a little bit bigger as well. There we go. We wasted a little bit of stamina there, but that's fine. Sometimes it can't be helped. Although I am going to change the lighting on the helmet so I can actually see more of it. Okay. Come on. There we go. Okay, we shifted that way, we shifted this way. We good. Okay. And like this. I always thought it was really funny how... Hang on. Something that always cracks me up a little bit is when a mostly English-speaking rock band or musical band in general will have an entire catalog of just ordinary English songs, and then all of a sudden on like their debut album, they'll just suddenly, or like on an album or on their debut album even, right? They'll have a one song that is just fully in Spanish or in a different language. Like there's a song by Gorillaz called Latin Simone, which is entirely in Spanish. It was from their debut album, inexplicably so in Spanish, the entire song, and on an otherwise completely English album. It just boggles the mind a little bit. Like, why are you in there, bro? Like, I appreciate your presence in the function, but I can't understand what brought you here. Like, did you get invited? Did you invite yourself? Tell me this process, man. I'm curious. I'm genuinely curious. I want to learn more about how those kinds of things happen, right? You know, whenever I visit one of those con panels, right, and that's hosted by like an online creator, inevitably something that they get asked is how did you like get your numbers? How did you find your audience? And their answer is very often just I turned up and I got lucky. I kept turning up. I kind of involved myself in the community of the thing that I'm relevantly interested in, and that's how I got started. And hang on. I wonder if that also applies to like the reason why some songs are like that, right? Like that Latin Simone song made David Albarn, or I'm pretty sure his name is David Albarn, something or other Albarn. I remember that clearly because he shares a name with like the Soul Eater protagonist, who is surprisingly enough not named Soul Eater. There is a character named Soul Eater. Well, no, there's a character named Soul, but his name is not Soul Eater. Funniest fucking manga for that one, by the way. Soul Eater, as the series, has not given a single fuck about its naming scheme even once. Ever. It just has not cared, and it's fantastic. I appreciate that about it. Anyway, I'm pretty sure the Gorillaz musician name is David Albarn. Also, just for my own sake, I'm going to make the goggles a little bit more, shall we say, square, a little bit thicker, a little bit more defined. Let's see how that looks without the reference. Now, there's something off about it. I will say that adding this one helped. Adding this one did not. Hmm. You know, when I was a kid, right? I was into the Digimon animated series, and I was like, wow, I wonder why they gave all the protagonist characters goggles, because that's a thing that they do. Now I'm starting to wonder if it's because the artist team were masochists. Granted, the character hardly ever wore them, but like, I don't know. There's something. Maybe it's because mine are so blocky. I bet if they were like rounder, it'd be a little bit easier to figure out what I need to do exactly. That might be it as well. Not so much a skill issue as it is a shape issue. Anyway, we finished the helmet, so that's good. There we go. I'm going to take a quick sip of water. All right. That curve is weird. Let's bring it down a little bit. I want to expand this one too while I'm at it. Okay, extend these guys out a little bit. Okay. So from there, what do we want to do is finish up the rest of this body here. Okay, slice that up like that. Slice this up like this. Okay. I should bring in the... Hang on. I'm gonna make the collar whip around the wind like this. It's gonna look very nice. Okay, then like this. There we go. Okay, now I just need to make the inside lining of it. There we go. I think I made the arm a little too big, even with foreshortening. Can we get away with copying and pasting these? God, I hope we can. Okay, we just extend the arm a little bit here. I think we can make the grip muscles, the wrist muscle, it'll come to me, forearm muscle here a little bit thicker too. Okay. Actually, I kind of like how the loop here looked. Hang on. Trying to recreate that manually. We'll see if I can finagle it in there some way, but I don't think right now it's useful. Okay. Hmm. I kind of made Hawk's helmet a little bit too big again, didn't I? Let me resize it just a smidgen. Just a scrap of resizing. Despite my best efforts, I missed one single line. Two lines. Two single lines. But considering I cut the other, like, 40, I think I did pretty well. 2 out of 40, that's still like a 98%. Okay, 2 over 40, that's... okay, so 40 is made up of 10 fours. So each 2 is like 5%. So that's 90%. Yeah, 90% accuracy. That's not bad. Local streamer takes a quick breather to use his hands to calculate a percentage. That's not true. That was all mental math. I never got counting with your fingers. I never learned how to... Like, I never understood people for whom that was a problem. I know some people had to be, like, discouraged from counting and adding using their fingers, but I never really had that issue. For me, though, I do need to move my body when I'm calculating stuff, though. Like I do, like I snap my fingers while I'm trying to concentrate and do math. It's a little strange, but hey, it worked for me. Okay, spin that like this, spin this like that. Hang on. There we go. Okay. I kind of feel like this should be even further up and a little to the left. No, it needs to be tilted a little bit more too. Hmm. Unless I shrank it a little bit, then moved it over here. That still doesn't quite line up. Now, see, that's too crooked. That's a little too crooked. Maybe if I tilt it again. Yeah, hang on. We might be cooking with this. And if I stretch it out a little bit further like that. No, that doesn't quite work. Yeah, we were closer here. Let's just go with this. Okay. finish the jetpack here. Do you guys reckon we can figure out the structure for this before we run out of time? I think we can swing that. I think that should be feasible. God. Speaking, I was talking earlier about how some music is out of place. There are also examples where I just wish a good song wasn't in the places where it was. You know, there's like a bunch of music that has, through some manner of transubstantiation, become recognized as like TikTok music, right? And some of them are like, I'm fine with losing, but some of them I'm not, right? Like, this has happened even before TikTok, by the way. Like, there was this one song by a band called Bag Raiders that went like da 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 da, kind of like that. I don't remember what its name was. I think it was something like Shooting Stars or something. Not to be confused with the one Shooting Stars in the Night Sky song, which I will never not be able to associate with two characters because of a meme. Don't worry about it. But yeah, that song was associated with like the memes for a long time. I think nowadays it's been long enough that we can just listen to it on its own. But if anybody was around during like the Vine era, then I think that's still going to be like the main thing that they recognize it from. Which makes it a little awkward because it's actually a really good song that I enjoy. I don't know. Sometimes it's just a little bit difficult to work with, right? Like you want to enjoy a song, but you also know what it's associated with. Very recently, I heard this one song called Pack Baby, which is really good, very funky. It has like a disco beat, and it's really fun, and I like it a lot. And it turns out that it was used in like 7 million Genshin Impact character edits, which is fine. I don't really care about that. But if I ever hook it up on the auxiliary cord and somebody else recognizes it from that, I am cooked. Do you understand? Like, even though that's not my association with it, they're going to be like, hey, isn't this that one Genshin character meme song? And I'll be ruined. It'll be over. If we're. Yes, you know that one. Nice. If if shooting stars in the night sky were airplanes, if airplanes in the night sky were shooting stars, yes, I got it. My lord. Okay. I can probably try to swing this into a kind of. You would not believe your eyes. Funnily enough, I never associated 1 million fireflies with 300 million guys. 5 guys if there were 299.9995 thousand more of them. Who founded the restaurant? That should have been like a Spaceballs bit. I feel like 300 million guys should have been like a Spaceballs bit. It's so tragic that in this day and age, a good old fashioned Spaceballs bit, will unfortunately be more likely recognized as a Rick and Morty bit. It sucks. It's awful, and I hate it. Actually, no. I feel like the main differentiator between Rick and Morty bits and Spaceball bits, I think, is actually that Rick and Morty bits are They don't really do parodies of standalone things these days. Yeah, I was gonna say, Spaceballs is a parody, whereas Rick and Morty tries to do more like satire shit. Not successfully sometimes, mind you. Most of the time, actually. So I think that's the issue. It's like it has to be satire, so they actually completely make up funny space names and words, rather than try to like make it a parody. We're not allowed to do parodies anymore because they knew that if somebody took the piss out on Marvel movies, a theater would collapse. The theater industry would collapse. Like, I am dead serious. You know how like Airplane the movie destroyed the disaster movie genre? I feel like if somebody did a parody superhero movie that roasted MCU shit hard enough, the movie industry will collapse. God, I kind of want to see it now. Please let the Marvel killer come to life. I want to see it. I'm hungry to see it. I need to see it. Robot Chicken in the Scary Movie series did damage. Yeah, that's true as well. Slasher movies and such. I don't know enough about Robot Chicken to know what that roasted the hell out of. I also remember the Birdman, I think it was called. Hmm. Interesting point, actually. Robot Chicken did everything. Yeah. I associate Robot Chicken with that one magazine that's like Mad, right? Like Mad Magazine. I never got to read Mad Magazine, but I can more or less surmise what it kind of involved. My epic Mad baby versus your cringe South Park baby. The Mad cartoon was basically Robot Chicken. God. My epic robot chicken baby versus your cringe South Park baby. Babies should not be watching South Park, by the way, as a general stance. I don't know how controversial that is. Let's see. Hmm. I kind of got schooled on like older cartoon stuff. I'm not super familiar with it, and it seems to be a very common reference point for a lot of people. Let's see. Control point. What the? Okay, there we go. Let's see. Okay. This is actually a good opportunity because I can figure out what this is about, and then we can flip it back to make it what this place is about. All right, we'll do that then. Also, an ad is going to start soon apparently, so duck your heads and cover your ears. All right, let's draw these rubes down here first. Or actually, hang on. How should I? Hang on. Let me look up like old. Hang on. Cliff Civilization ruins. Okay. Hey, look the inside of one of these suckers. This'll do. Huh. Big into holes, huh? Nice signals reference. No, I'm kidding. I'm mostly kidding. Hmm. That's not a bad idea though. I like the idea of like there being kind of like a random hole for no reason. Let's go with that. Suckatdreamstime.com. All right. Flip this around. Drag it over here. Yeah, we'll just basically do like an above ground version of this. With like the walls down and everything. Yeah. Yeah, that'll work. We'll have to put this a little bit further up though. No, you won't. It will never work. They called me insane when I said a cliff civilization couldn't live above ground. Well, I'll show them. I'll show them all. I will make it I should make it I don't know if I should make it more square or hexagonal though, because I don't hang on. No, I think round actually works. Hang on, let me pull up page 2. Because I made most of the buildings in this one here squarish from the ancient civilization, but they do have like this one glaringly spherical structure. So I do wonder if I can't leverage that a little bit. Dodecagonal. That's too many gons. Dodecagonal. That's like 12 that's like 20 sided, right? It'll look like an Epcot ball. I'd get sued by Disney. Or worse. What the fuck ever. I'm glad that you're not wholly committed to one idea or another. It gives me more flexibility as an artist. Okay. I should probably put this on a separate layer, though. Let me erase the circle and add a new layer. Hold on, my brain is slowly trying to figure out what exactly the structure of this thing needs to be. Let me open up the next page as well. Okay, this one's fine. The one after that, though. Okay, it needs to open up into the grasslands. That's easy enough to do. Let me redraw this ellipse. 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 Whatever. Ellipse, ellipse, ellipti, Philippidi, Philippidi, the runner of the original marathon. Whatever. Let's see. I remember when I was a kid, I actually taught my family to play shiritori with me whenever we got bored and we needed something to do on like a car trip. It worked pretty well in Spanish and in English. So that was a big win for me. There has to be like an English equivalent to shiritori, right? Like I feel like English doesn't have as many word games, but it must have. But some idiot must have already thought of like, hey, we should try figuring out how to connect these last two syllables together. I hate winning. Really? Couldn't be me. It's all I seem to do. Don't do that. Sorry, I just seem to do it naturally. I can't seem to control how much I win. I don't control the speed at which the rice wins. Okay, maybe with a little bit of this. Actually, no, let's have this be covered right around here. And then it takes like a sharp decline, as if something punched through it. That would be sick as hell, actually. Hang on. Now, the biggest troll hater move that I could do, conceivably for myself, is to just literally copy and paste the dome from page 2 and then paste that over this. That is like the most dickheaded move that I could think of, but I'm not going to do that. It wouldn't work for what I needed to do. Or actually, hang on. What if I hate pages? You seem to hate a lot of things. Have you tried liking shit? It's actually pretty based. I go outside in a warm summer day and I'm like, damn, this shit rules. There's lots of things that can make you happy in this world. It's winter, you bug eater. Feeling a little saucy today, aren't we? For the record, I haven't eaten bugs yet. I am interested in trying bug protein, though. I remember seeing somebody try out a tarantula, and while that's not my bag, I do want to try to eat roasted crickets at some point. Also, don't you worry. I more than anyone am aware that it's fucking winter. I am not a fan of cold temperatures. I will say that much. God. Remember when the sun used to set after 4 p.m.? Wait, no, after 5 p.m.? That was nice. That used to be pretty sweet. Can't wait to go back to those times. I don't remember time. God, I wish that were me. God, I wish that were me, though. That's true. If I have an anxiety about anything, I think I probably have an anxiety about time. Oh, the circle would end around there. Okay, let's work with that then. Like, I am neurotic about a lot of little things, right? I don't know. Maybe it's something I got from my parents or something. But I tend to like worry a lot about like how much time I have left on Earth. That is a big concern for me. Like constantly. On the bright side, it's also something of a motivator for me. You know, it's like, oh wait, why am I spending my time like this? I need to be doing cooler shit. It's got its ups and downs. There we go. Okay, maybe I need to shrink that down a little more. Bro, you cannot tell me that this is 2 pixels wide. I do not believe your ass. Hang on. Okay. Yeah. Okay, so now the next move is to add some primitives in here so that we can create the vague background structure that we need to make this whole thing work. It kind of bugs me for there not to be any trace of the copper here, though. There we go. This'll do. We can take out this part here, too. Oh, yeah. So this funny-ass thing I read about recently, all right? So it turns out that apparently that one... I know them for their perfumes because I remember seeing a few bottles of them as a kid. This like Dior brand, right? I know them most well for their perfumes, but apparently they've started to release a line of baby-oriented products. I'm supposing for like parent. I don't know if babies will be able to afford all that, but I mean more power to them if they can. But it's so funny that babies typically have very sensitive skin, so they have to essentially sell like scented water rather than like actual moisturizers and everything. It's so funny. Although I do remember when I was kind of in the market for a new moisturizer earlier, and I actually thought about using baby oil for a little while because of the fact that it's actually very delicate. Yeah. For some reason, I don't like moisturizers that are too thick. I don't enjoy having to all the work that goes into like having to, grease yourself up like that. It's a little bit undignified and I'm not into it. So I try to look into like more fluid options for moisturization. I ended up finding this lotion from this one brand called Hey Humans, which I actually bought a few bottles of because I'm not convinced that I'll be able to find it in the store again. Try to only moisturize when you're thirsty. Actually, I should moisturize right now. Let me take a quick sip. Reduces your calorie intake. Huh. Actually, that's a good point. I don't. Can you absorb calories through your skin? I know you can absorb I know you can absorb actual like a lot of stuff through your skin. I know you can absorb fat through your skin. So I wonder if you're. I know you can absorb caffeine, for example, through your skin as well. So I wonder if you can absorb calories through your skin somehow. Try absorbing this. In my mind, I'm picturing you like gesturing to your nuts or something. I don't know. I don't know. Like I'm picturing you like crotch shopping. I don't know what you're trying to. I don't know what this is. Hang on. Can you absorb calories through your skin? Hang on. Let's see here. No Wikipedia article, so that's not a good sign. Let's see. A Scientific American article. Oh, this ought to be good. Oh, here we go. Skeptic Stack Exchange. Okay, one answer. Research about whether or not calorically dense substances such as fatty acids can be successfully absorbed and used is still very preliminary. Okay, so I'm guessing the answer is probably not. That's good to know. I didn't really count on it for survival reasons, but it's good to know. It's good to know that you can't. Oh, hey Corky, how's it going? Welcome everyone. Thank you for your hard work. I'm Pabs, a rice-singing VTuber and an artist. Summon a rice beast? Hey, you got it! Let's see. Oh shit, there's 3 of them. Triple rice beast attack, rock your world forever. Welcome, welcome. How's your stream? You're playing World of Horror, right? How did that go? How are your runs? Did you find any cool Easter eggs? I won. Nice. Good work. And thank you for the sub. They did great. The horror was comprehended. Ha! Sucks to be the horror. Nice work out there. I met Majima from Yaku. Huh? Goro Majima from critically acclaimed action video game / RPG franchise Yakuza? There's an Easter egg where you can encounter Majima. Insane. God, I'm just imagining like the Yakuza sub-story guitar riff popping up whenever you encounter him. Through the power of friendship and some nice tits, they were able to kill a lot of shit. Wow. He's called Majima for copyright reasons. We don't need to buy Majima. We have Majima at home. The Majima in question. That's so funny. I love it when brand copyright is skedaddled around. He's like the Majima you got off of a shady link on Shine or something. He's like the dropship Majima. You have to type Kiryu into the suitcase at the beginning and select the hunted by the cult background, and then it's up to RNG. Huh. Interesting. I only did like 1 run of that game on the easiest difficulty because I'm kind of a coward and I hate losing. But that's really cool. That's so funny. I need to try that if I ever play that game again. I need to get that game so bad. It looks like something right up my alley. Yeah, that's true. I'd only just got out of early access, right? It's going to grow a lot more from here. At least, ideally, that's the plan. I've gotten okay at it, I think. I'll put it on the docket. Yeah. I'm kind of proud of myself for the number of horror games that I ran through during Halloween season, also known as October. Halloween season. Okay, man. I mean, I'm not wrong, is the thing. All of October is Halloween with the right mindset. All of the year is Halloween with the right mindset. Those idiots in that one Tim whatchamacallit movie were not grinding hard enough. If you ask me. From what I see, it looks like once you know what you're doing, you go from Junji Ito protagonist to Ash Williams killing shit with a baseball bat. God, yeah. I bought a steak knife off a dog in my first run, and that made things very easy for me. God. I was trying to do something with the structures here. Maybe if I just kind of make like some kind of monolith shape. The steak knife is a great weapon to build with high dexterity. Like to watch the Evil Dead movies. Oh man, they are so good. I remember watching the Evil Dead 2 a couple of times, but I liked Army of Darkness, but Evil Dead 2 was like my jam. I'll put a couple other polygons here and there. Why not? The more cubes, the better. This is the kind of mindset and strategy that led to the creation of Minecraft, and people love that game. Get ratioed by the obelisk. Oh, actually, this would be a good idea. Hang on. What if I put one of these things down around here? I've already watched the first one, but that was a long time ago. Yeah, I remember liking the second one much more than the first one. After I started realizing that it was like a remake rather than an actual sequel, I was like, oh, I see the game you're playing now. I see the pieces to this puzzle. And I'm gonna put like a third one right around. Actually, what might work a little better if I put this. The second one is where it found its footing as a Splatterhouse horror comedy. Yeah. If I shift this one enough to the left, and make it a little bit shorter and a little bit squatter. Yeah, this'll do. Need to go eat din din down, but I enjoy rendering your prisms, Paps. Thanks, Corgi. Enjoy your dinner. Good work out there. All right. Now, I need to like lock onto these rubes here. If you're getting hunted by the otherworldly demons and will most likely suffer a horrible death, might as well get goofy with it in your potential last moments. That's true. Listen, if you can pivot the genre from horror to comedy, you are set. You might lose a limb or two, but you're good. I mean, the real W would come from pivoting to a character action game, but like, that's very difficult as well. You need to be able to do actual Devil May Cry shit. Yeah, I think if you get goofy with it, it's a 50-50 chance it turns into a comedy and 50-50 chance it turns into a character action. Went to the bathroom during the raid. Hello, my rice best friend. Hello, Jank. I thought you were drawing a little stick figure with massive ahoge for a second. That would be kind of sick as a character concept. A stick figure with the only defining character trait being its massive ahoge. Bald save for one single hair. Just like Charlie Brown. Couldn't be me. I don't have hair. Baby hair with a little loop on it. Yeah. Like, I'm imagining some kind of not Henry Stickmin. There used to be this guy called like Mr. Fancy Pants as a Flash game. And it used to be about this dude with like really wide orange pants. And he used to have like a anime mohawk, but like now I'm just imagining like world's biggest ahoge like this. Yeah, Mr. Fancy Pants Adventure. I remember that game. Weirdly, excuse me there. Weirdly good mobility. Like the weirdly fun mobility for a Flash game. Man, I should do a Flashpoint stream at some point. It was remade a few years ago, if I recall correctly. Damn, really? Nice. Yeah, if you have enough clout, I think like if you have enough clout, you could survive the proverbial Thanos snap of Adobe Flash by pivoting to a remake. I think that's what the Henry Stickmin series did. Although that was also a chance to release a final episode. God, that was a fun series. My biggest regret is that I ended up watching every possible Henry Stickmin reaction video that I could. So now I'll never be able to forget any of the bits, and it'll be really boring to watch me play through it. Yeah, because screw Adobe. I hear that. Couldn't be me. I found out today that apparently Clip Studio can also save in .svg, which is the vector file format, so there's really no reason to also use Adobe. Unless you need like a video editing software, but even then there's like alternatives. Got it. I kind of love the little soldier guys that I've cooked here. These idiots are trying to steal an entire pillar for no good reason. Gonna look now and do my own thing. Have a good night, Pablo Mew. That's a new one. Thank you. Thank you for coming by. Catch you later. Enjoy your night. Thank you for lurking. Let's see. Let's see. Lurk. I really should set up a exclamation point lurk command. That shouldn't be too much effort to figure out. There's a few. I like it whenever steal that pillar, you goofy hot dummies. Also, the pillar will have to be square just to fit in with the rest of the architecture. Honestly, to be fair, square architecture looks a little bit goofy until you realize just how useful it is for stuff like transportation and drawing. I don't have a bias. Who, me? No. Couldn't be me. It's not even an entire pillar, it's just a chunk of a pillar. These guys are doing the equivalent of uprooting a single fence post and making off with it like it's a flat screen TV. I mean, granted, the fence post is made out of incredibly valuable materials. And also is like 5 million years old. But the point still stands. I mean, I don't know. Some fence posts could be that old for all I know. Stuff was built a bit different back in the day. The fence post that Tom Sawyer whitewashed is still around. It's going to be turned into a relic by people who just can't seem to get enough of that. I forgot the guy's name who wrote that. Mark Twain. Let's see. Okay. These guys seem a decent height, but I'm going to shrink them down just a little bit. And thin them up a little, too. It pisses me off so bad that you're not even going to be able to see them. That does piss me off just a little bit, but that's fine. I'm not mad. I'm not mad. I'm not. Even if I'm mad, I'm not. There we go. Alright, we need to rasterize this sucker for this plan to work. Okay, we'll put that here. How does that synergize with the other layer? Good enough. I'm gonna call that good enough. Secret artist technique. Close enough. Okay, we'll finish up this pillar here. This is good though. It gives me a chance to optimize a little bit. Now that I've done the second page and I have like a clear visual identity for what these things are going to look like, I keep saying that page 2 was like what awakened like 90% of efficiencies in this issue, but like it's true is the thing. It's only fair. I busted my ass on that page. Okay, there we go. Flatten this so that it's nice and straight. Then bump, 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 bump. Hold on, something about this doesn't seem right. This does. Okay, we'll make a little gap here. I should probably duplicate the original layer just in case. Or, fuck it, we ball. What to do? Actually, you know what I should do? Hold on, I gotta do something real quick on panel 1. Okay, and then go back here. I like to do these guys' visor first, because that way it's just a little bit easier for me to place where the heck their heads are supposed to go. It's so funny, the shape of their helmets. I can't get enough of them. Okay. Okay, now the hand positioning on this guy is going to be very important. Because if I do him with his palms upward a little bit, it'll look a little bit like he's saying like, pass it to me, or like he's praising the sun or something. Conversely, if I do him palms downward, it'll look like he's trying to fly instead. If I do him palms forward, then that makes him look odd as well. I think the problem is that his arms are straight on and not bent. I think if his arms were bent a little bit, it'd be a little bit more easy to read. Yeah. The fast arm wave. The universal sign of get your ass down here right now. Okay. Or maybe it was one arm beckoning. Yeah, actually, I think one arm beckoning might be a little bit might be even clearer as a form of communication. Let's see. I want to make this guy look like an entire narc. I wonder how I can do that. Or maybe, hang on. Maybe if I flip this around a little bit like this. Okay, like this. Then over here. There we go. This arm is too long is the problem. If it were like half as long, I think it would be much better. Maybe just a little bit of a closer thing around here. Okay. Perfect. No, no, no. Hang on. I think that's over seasoning it. Hold on, I missed a spot there. Let me try that again. Okay, reduce that. Okay, perfect. What if I kind of reached over and just kind of swatted this hand a little bit to the right? I think that might make it even easier to read. And maybe if I brought this one a little closer to the left. Hang on. This is going to take some doing. I hit it at like just the exact sweet spot earlier. Let's get rid of these ones. What if... Hang on. There we go. This at the very least is more comprehensible, I think. Ah! Feature page jump scare. Okay, we're good. All right, now I just got to figure out how to position this guy for optimal impact. Okay. I think I'm going to take a little break for tonight. I think this is good. I think this is as far as we go for today. All right, let's see if anybody else is streaming today. All right. Let's go say hi to Miel, who is playing Tiny Witch. All right. I will be back tomorrow to do a little bit of randomized character design. I will see you all later. Thank you all for coming by. Thanks to Corgi again for the raid. And I will catch you all later. Bye.